Hey everyone, I am Arpit and I am currently a DevRel at KubeSimplify. KubeSimplify is a YouTube channel which basically simplifies Kubernetes and CNCF landscape for all of us. Our today's topic is that how can someone get started with like as a contributor in the Kubernetes ecosystem. I know it can be a little bit of overwhelming, but stay with me for the next half an hour, and you can start with your first contribution. This is what our today's agenda is. So I will explain to you what is Kubernetes and how the Kubernetes community structure is lined up, and what does it actually mean to be a contributor, and how can one start contributing. Other than that, I would also be presenting some of the current work opportunities, like kind of issues and what areas can anyone contribute to. These includes both tech as well as non-tech. So I hope by the end of this talk, uh, anyone of you can get started with the Kubernetes community. So let's meet the Kubernetes community first of all. This is basically what the community look like. The photo here is from the Open Source Summit North America 2024, and here are some of the stats which I have pulled like while making the slides. Currently in Kubernetes, we have around 93,000 contributors, and those 93,000 contributors have made over a 4 million contributions. And all these contributions are reviewed by just 7.5K reviewers. These stats are basically, there are tools from where you can get these stats, and Kubernetes also publish a report every year. So you can find these stats. Apart from this, here is a diagram. So this diagram shows like Kubernetes is basically here from 2014, and from 2014 to 2023, like at the end of 2023, Kubernetes has gained around 80,000 contributors, and that's a lot. And that's basically uh, is a symbol like Kubernetes is doing very well, and people are adopting it. So yeah. Now let's move on. So there's a misconception like for contributing in the Kubernetes community, someone needs to be an expert or a pro in Kubernetes and DevOps. So that's not true entirely, but I would say skills never hurt. If you have these kinds of skills, those are very like that is very awesome. But you don't have that, and you want to contribute, so you are also welcome. But what you need to know is what is Kubernetes, because you are going to contribute to the project, so you need to understand what the project does. So, in a nutshell, what Kubernetes is it is a tool for orchestrating containers, and it is open source. Now, when I say open source, I basically means that it is made by people around the world, and some of whom are paid to work on it, but many of whom are volunteers. So I consider myself as a volunteer because I don't get paid to contribute in the Kubernetes ecosystem, but uh, some companies do pay their employees to contribute to open source. So that is very cool. I know it's cool. And When I say Kubernetes is open source, that also means that its code is publicly available under an open source license. And that license basically describe exactly who, when, and how the software and its source code can be used. So this is like very basics of what Kubernetes is. But let's explore what Kubernetes do in a nutshell. Like what Kubernetes does. So in the first snapshot, this is basically a business. Any business you can say, and businesses can have a tons of apps. Like they can have their websites, they can have their payroll applications, they can have their inventory management system, etc. And the list goes on. And they also have where too many computers. Yes, this stack is a computer. It's a server, but every server is a computer, so it is a computer. So what Kubernetes enables to for businesses is now businesses can say to Kubernetes, "Hey Kubernetes, here are the computers that we have, and here are the apps that we want to run on them." So you can decide what apps to run on which, and what is the specific hardware they might need. And now this is the responsibility of the Kubernetes to run those apps on the specific hardware and the servers. Here in this case, the servers are local. I assume that these servers are owned by the business itself, but this you can replace the servers by AWS or Azure Cloud, anything. So servers can be anywhere. Also, Kubernetes provides some extra functionality, like if someone wants to upgrade their version of applications, Kubernetes also provides to do it. So this is what Kubernetes is, and this is what like this is the minimum what you need to know about Kubernetes to for getting started. You can explore it more in the technical side. That is all up to you, and I would encourage you to do that. But this talk is about how you can involve in the community. So let's focus on that. So now we have the Kubernetes community structure. So first thing, uh, all the Kubernetes community is on the Slack, and this is the basic community structure. And on the top of it, you can see we have Cloud Native Computing Foundation. And if you if by a movie analogy, you can say CNCF is the producer over here. But no, so CNCF basically makes us of all the funding and basically manage various guidance and services. Apart from that, CNCF itself is a non-profit organization. So this is on the top of it. But then we have the steering committee. So, steering committee is an elected body. So, every year, Kubernetes there's an election where Kubernetes org members vote and select a steering committee. Steering committee basically consists of 7 members, and every year the elections happen in forms of 4 and 3. So, last year 3 members got elected. So this year there will be 4 members which are being elected, like they will be elected in this year. So this is how this runs. But Kubernetes as an open source project have lot of things, and that basically means we need to divide the interest. And when people have very specific interests, like in case of six, so six are special interest groups. So six, you can say they are a team. So folks with a specific interest, like someone is very interested in architecture, and folks who came together and maintain a very specific scope of the project. Now, let's suppose there are the other bunch of folks who said like, okay, we will be taking care of the documentation, or we will be taking care of the stuff which basically deals with the Kubernetes architecture. So they form a SIG. That's a special interest group, and that SIG is basically responsible for that core functionality. And then we have working groups. Now, working groups is an idea where if there is a issue which comes under the scope of lot of SIGs. Like there's a issue which also comes under the SIG architecture, because it is an architecture issue, but it's also come under SIG node. So what they will do, they will collab and will make a working group, and then they will solve it. So working groups are, you can say, they are owned by a SIG at the end. So they are a sub part of the SIG, but they don't own any code, or they don't own anything. They are very specific for an issue, and after that issue is resolved, the working group will disappear. So this is about SIGs and working groups. You can consider SIGs as the team, and for example, SIG architecture will own the entire code base for uh, the Kubernetes code, which basically deals with the Kubernetes architecture. And SIG docs will own the whole documentation stuff, uh, like the whole documentation for the Kubernetes documentation. So this is what SIGs are, and I told you about working groups. And what are sub projects? So not every, but most of the SIGs have sub projects. This is how they divide their work into. So every SIG has some responsibilities, and they divide it into some projects. Like every Like for example, say contributors comms deals with the communications as well as they deal with the associates. So they have two projects for that. So yeah, let's move on. So this is about the SIGs and the structure. So currently we have over 24 SIGs and 7 working groups and 3 committees. You can get more information about this from this link. Feel free to go on that. Yeah. So we can further divide SIGs and working groups according to their scopes. Now, there's a project scope, basically any SIG that deals with the very core functionality of the project. Here in case Kubernetes, so if any SIG is dealing with the very core functionality of the Kubernetes, they come under the project scope and they basically affect the entire project directly. And obviously they need to collaborate with other groups as well. So that is what the project scope is. And the horizontal scope is basically having a deep and broad technical focus. Basically the SIGs which uh, owns core functionality from an architecture perspective comes under this. And these are basically depend on the SIGs which are comes under the project groups. And then we have vertical groups. They also have broad technical specifics, but they basically depends on the horizontal and project group SIGs to work with. So this is the various scopes. And here is a snapshot of all the SIGs according to their scope. So you can look it into it and you can basically get a glimpse of how one can contribute. Now, this is an important slide because here we are focusing on why do you want to contribute, and it is very important to have a clear vision in mind. Like, why do you want to contribute? Either your job requires it, or you want to grow some specific career-related skills, or you want to network and increase your connection. Or yeah, Kubernetes is a cool technology. We all know that, and there's no doubt in that contributing is super cool. But or there's a case that you enjoy being part of the community, but I would say that you need to think very carefully about what do you want and why do you want to contribute. uh, Now the reason why I am telling this is because if you can tell someone clearly what do you want, they can help you with that. So you need to decide it, like what is the reason why do you want to get involved with the Kubernetes ecosystem, and that's how you communicate with someone. So if you are reaching someone out and you are very clear on like what do you want from them, they can help you with that because again, folks are very busy plus different time zones, and it can save you time and it can basically help you to move ahead. So yeah, do give us out on why do you want to contribute and don't get misled. So yeah. Now, let's before doing a contribution or getting like thinking about doing a contribution, first talk about what do you mean by a contributor. So basically, anything you do to help Kubernetes community grow uh, counts as a contribution. It does not like it is not necessary that it ought to be GitHub tracked. Like it should not like it is not necessary that it is code, but everything counts as a contribution. Like this is an specific thing from the Kubernetes new contributor orientation session. I have pulled out a snap, and they basically say any work that you do to support the open source Kubernetes project counts. And it can be as simple as taking notes during community meeting, or like asking a question on a Slack, or implementing a new feature or a part of a feature, or commenting on caps like their Kubernetes enhancement proposal or issue, or even writing a blog post. These all count as an contribution. Now I cannot list all of them here, but Even discussing on the Slack and being available for everyone also counts as a contribution. But these are some of the way new folks want to get involved. So yeah, now this is the contributor ladder, and I can say most of you are here. You are a non-member contributors, and this is how you will go above. Now, no way with this ladder I want to implicate like if someone is a member they are not good or someone is an approver they are good, but this is how this things look like. And again, there are various levels of being a contributor. So uh, you might remember I have told you about contributors and reviewers in the previous snapshot, like a snapshot slide. But starting at the very bottom, if you are a non-member contributor, that is fine. But if you want to do something more, you might want to be a member, and that is basically what Kubernetes org membership is all about. Uh, so yeah, if you contribute to the community in any way, that you might be what we call is a non-member contributor. That basically means that you pop into the community and contribute likely in a small and disconnected way. So that is what non-member contributors do. You are in the community, you are visible, but you are contributing in a disconnected way. Maybe you contributed a little now and then after 3 months. But if you want to like really get involved and the community you want to go for the org membership. So when you got the org membership, that is basically how you become a Kubernetes community member. And how you will get the org membership, I will talk to it about right now. So basically, an org member refers to a member of the Kubernetes organization on GitHub. Basically, your GitHub username will be listed in a file that in a list of members, and that is how you become an Kubernetes org member, and you will get an invite from the Kubernetes community to join the GitHub. So there are some privileges of being an org member that you can interact with the Kubernetes contributors, and while taking part in the meetings, you can even edit the project board. So there's a project board on GitHub which only Kubernetes members can edit. So yeah, and you can have comments, and now you can be an reviewer and stuff. So you will be ready to become a Kubernetes org member when the contributors you work with regularly are familiar with your work and will vouch for you as sponsors on a request for membership. So for becoming an org member, you need to file a request, and that request has to be sponsored by uh, two uh, folks, which need to be our reviewers. And if they sponsor you, then your request will be accepted and you can become a Kubernetes org member. For me personally, I have written 2 blogs, and after that, the chairs of the Contrabex comps have sponsored me to become a Kubernetes org member. So this is how I become a Kubernetes org member. And if some of you wants to become a Kubernetes org member, my simple advice would be like if you are contributing to something like writing a blog, or you are contributing to docs, or you are enhancing a feature, that is way enough. What you need to do is you just need to ask it out after filing like a couple of contributions, and everyone would be happy to help you. So now, after the org member, when your trust level came to a point where 6 years think that you might handle some more responsibility, and that is completely on you whether you choose to pursue it or not. But once you have engaged in an area for a while, you might have enough knowledge to review contributions. Like now you have experience, for example, writing a blogs, like you have written a couple of blogs. So now you can also review them. So now you can approach towards being a reviewer. So you will review them, put comments on them, and eventually, like after becoming a reviewer, eventually you might be trusted enough to have a final say on whether some code should be merged or a contribution that is accepted or not and displayed on something. Like for example, every blog goes on the Kubernetes community site. So you can also now approve them after being a reviewer. So that basically depends how long you are engaging with the community and what sort of trust level you have built. But after reviewing, you can move on to the approver. Again, there should be you need to maintain a good trust level so that someone can trust you that you are approving the right things. But after being an approver, if you like become a strong expert in a specific area, then you can be highly trusted and uh, your expertise can be trusted and you might take on few exciting responsibilities, and that is what uh, a sub project owner is. So basically now you own a sub project within a SIG, and now you are now basically leading that sub project. And same on goes for the sub project lead, where there are like after being a sub project owner, you can move to sub project lead. And if you have contributed enough and now you have a certain trust level in the community that, okay, everyone now knows you, then you can also become a 6 year tech lead. So again, uh, I would again like to remind you like this contributor ladder is not a definite part to contribute to Kubernetes, but this is something because you will came across these terms like SecChair, sub-project lead, sub-project owner, approver, reviewers, or members across the GitHub when you are engaging with the community. So it is very good to know like what is like what basically mean by every single term, and by saying you can tell okay, this person is a stick chair, and then you can reach out based on what you want. So let's move on to the next slide. So this is where how to basically start contributing. And this is the very simple step. Please don't go to the GitHub and open the Kubernetes repo. It is super overwhelming, and chances are you will get lost. But the correct way to get started with Kubernetes is by joining a stick. So basically, it's the fastest way. So try to find your interests and join a SIG. And joining a SIG itself is not enough. What I would recommend is you should attend meetings, and I can vouch for your first couple of meetings will go over your head. But after attending couple of meetings, you will get a hack of like what is going on, what is going around, and you can decide. You can interact to folks on how to contribute. And you can also join the KDev mailing list. It's the Kubernetes Developer Google group. So this is where all the announcements came. And yeah, joining the Kubernetes Slack is a no-brainer because that is where everything happens. So yeah, now I will give you a quick SIG repo walkthrough. Let me unpresent my screen for the entire screen. Yep. I hope my screen is visible, right? Hello, my screen is visible, right?
Not now. Earlier, now yeah, now it's visible.
Yeah. So this is the Kubernetes community repo, and you can find there's a repo for every SIG, as you can see. So you can basically you can explore the six right there, and you can do like you can search based on your interests, and there are a lot of things over there. But let me give you a quick overview of how would you sorry, like how would you navigate it. Let's select one. Yeah. So I selected the communication one. So let's select something else. We can go with sick docs because it is relatively popular. And what you can see here is first thing what you will see is there are meetings. So here are all the meetings that are listed. There is another way known as Kubernetes Community Calendar where all the meetings from all the six are listed. But these are the very specific meetings that this SIG runs, and with the specific time zones and agenda notes, you can also find meeting recordings over here if you want. And next, what you are seeing is there are SIG chairs. So these are the folks who is responsible for that SIG, like they are taking care of that SIG. So if you want to contribute, you can reach them out in this public SIG channel, or you can ask them out. And these are the technical leads. So these are basically responsible for the technical stuff going behind the SIG. Apart from that, here is a contact information. Like you can find the entire teams which are responsible for every single stuff. Now, SIG docs has a lot of them because Kubernetes documentation is in many languages. So you can find for the each specific language as well. And here is a team for like blog maintaining and stuff. And you can also find all the sub project listed over here. So basically, SIGDocs own Kubernetes blog projects where they maintain and write blogs over there. Then there is an localization one where this project is basically responsible for localizing Kubernetes documentation in local languages. And then we have the website. This is responsible for the Kubernetes website to run on. This is how you navigate a SIG. And let me give you a quick overview of Slack as well. So this is the Kubernetes Slack. I hope it's visible. So I am the part of SIG and this is how it looks. So you can reach to them out here as well. You can just ask by tagging the SIG chairs. You can go to the repo and find who are the SIG chairs, and you can just reach them out that hey, I want to get started. I have this kind of an experience, and I would like to contribute. What are some areas what I can contribute to? And I also have gone through the repo, and I found this project interesting. So how can I get started with that? This basically shows that you have researched a bit and you are asking a like good question. So everyone is happy to help, and everyone like there's a almost 100% chance that Cheers will reply. But do make sure that folks are from the different time zones. So there might be a case that you can get a reply late, or there might be a case where you need to ping them again. But makes and like this is a time zones thing, like because folks are very busy, they tend to like lost track of couple of things. So that's a no biggie. Yeah, so now let's move on. So here is the Kubernetes community calendar I have talked about. So Kubernetes community calendar is literally a calendar which basically lists all the meetings across the six, and you can find every one of them here. So you don't need to maintain a list of meetings or whatever, or you don't need to remember it. You can just go to the Kubernetes community calendar and you can find a meeting and go and join it. So that is what Kubernetes community calendar is. So now let's move on to the current work opportunities, and these are some of the evergreen opportunities which are always open for anyone. Most of them require no experience out there. So most things have meeting note taking available now. Why do you want to do that? Because you want to like tell everyone that you are there and you are presenting. So that is one thing. Apart from that, I would say that uh, note taking also helps you to figure out how meetings are run. Because when I have joined the Kubernetes comms, I also done the meeting like note taking stuff, and I got a very good hack of like what are the sub projects, what are running, and like what to ask, like what is going on in the community. So give me a very good idea of what should I ask to someone and how to basically contribute, because while taking meeting notes, I am like fully concentrated on the meeting. So yeah, it is a very good starting thing. Apart from that, SIG docs have like peer reviews that is open for everyone. And then there's a new contributor meet and greet that happens every first Tuesday of the month at 10:30 UTC. You can also find this in Kubernetes community calendar. And always you can reach out to SIG docs and ask that how you can contribute. Then SIG Contribex has quite interesting, exciting opportunities. You can always come and claim a Spotlight blog, and a Spotlight blog is nothing but it is basically you interview sick chairs and basically you write a blog post on that what does that sick doing, and what are their vision, what sub projects they are working on. And sometimes it happens like project maintainers divide it into couple of series. So we have a SIG enhancement blog which is divided into three parts. I know if I'm not wrong, only one part is published now. So yeah, because the SIG handles a lot of work. So sometimes it divides into a series, sometimes it will be a single block. So yeah. Apart from that, Kubernetes contributor summit stuff is there, but for that, the basic requirement is you need to be a org member, and it happens 2x per year. So you can have some event responsibilities, and that's how you can contribute. Now, let's talk about tasks which come with a certain amount of tech skill. So basically, the thing is sometimes SIGs require someone to work on something. Now, the reason why that issue is open and you can saw it because there is no one in the SIG who can work on it, or if there, they don't have time. That is why that issue is not claimed. So before assigning that issue to yourself, you need to go to the Slack channel and talk to them whether someone is there to guide you, or if you have those skills which are listed for a specific issue, that is fine if you have that kind of confidence. Please go ahead and by all means. But if you are someone who is looking to learn and there is no one to guide you, there's a high chance that issue is not for you. You can ask the maintainers, they will guide you, and then you can learn it and like contribute. But assigning issues with a certain level of tech expertise without having those, seeking someone guidance is not a good idea. The basic idea is that you reach out on Slack and ask the maintainers like how can you contribute and learn on the go. That is how maintainers will have the idea that okay, this person is working on this issue, and this is what the time, like this is the time frame for which the issue will be over. So there are certain tech opportunities as well. So we have testing have couple of opportunities. There's an project called Hydrophone where you can do conformance testing, and there's a feedback and help enabling adoption of new testing tools going on. So you can contribute to that. Now, blog reviews also require a certain tech expertise where you need to understand the technical topics well. So blog reviews are one thing. Apart from that, Kubernetes localization also requires you to have a certain tech expertise with English and Kubernetes concepts. So yeah, and SIG Contracts is having that website maintenance where you have to have then specific knowledge of the tech stack where it is with you. So apart from that, there are a couple of mentoring program management where you are supposed to set up and execute a couple of Kubernetes group mentoring programs, and that basically requires some planning and event skills. So yeah, there's a lot, and I will give the link for this slide as well, so you can check them out later. There's no hurry. So and there are some more where you can do hard code contributions. So if you have these skills, feel free to reach out to those six and feel free to contribute. So yeah, these are some of the resources I catered. So definitely join the Kubernetes developer group. Apart from that, also check out the Kubernetes community. And if you are a new contributor, there's interesting guide on caves.dev/guide. You can go there and you can basically have a proper look on how you can get started with it. Again, there's a first contribution guide as well. And This is how you will get your first PR. You can also check it out. And again, there's a whole resources list on the Kubernetes GitHub where you can find the resources how you can actually learn Kubernetes and its concepts. Apart from that, the Slack is there, and I know it is a bit overwhelming, but by taking one step at a time, everyone can learn. So this is all about it, and thank you for listening and bearing me for the past half an hour. So thank you very
Okay.
much, and I hope it helps.
Thank you, Arpit. That was a great talk. And I hope everyone enjoyed learning about this. So I would request everyone, if they have question, we can take that at the end of the session, like after the other part,